Hello and welcome. This video demonstration will show you how RSA scholars can submit employment information in the PIMS to fulfill their service obligation. We'll walk through the steps to add a new employment record, address any disputes, and how to resubmit your record down the road. Let's get started. Before you can submit an employment record, two things need to be true. First, your scholar record needs to show an exited status. Your university handles that step, so reach out to them if you have questions. Second, you need to have either completed or graduated from your training program or completed at least one academic year of it. Let's add your first employment record. Start by logging into PIMS to access your scholar record. Then you can review your grant funding information and service obligation requirements in sections C and D. If you see any errors or inaccuracies, please contact your project director or the PIMS help desk. Scroll down to section F, Employment. Read through the instructions on that page before you begin. When you're ready, click the yellow button to add a new employment record. Additional instructions are located at the top of the page. First, you'll need to complete your employer information. This includes the employer name, department name if that applies, and the address, phone number, and website. Next, you'll enter contact information for your supervisor and/or your HR manager. Only one contact is required, but we recommend filling in both if you can. For each one, you'll provide their full name, email address, phone number, and work address. Now you move into details about your position, starting with the type of organization. If your employer doesn't fit one of those listed, you can select Other and specify. Next, indicate whether this is your current employment or not. If you select No, you will need to enter an end date for this position. If you select Yes, then the end date field will be hidden. Then specify whether your position is full-time or part-time, and if it's part-time, you'll enter weekly hours. If your hours fluctuate slightly, you can enter an average number of hours per week. However, if they change frequently, you will need to create different employment records to accurately capture each position's hours. Next, enter your start date. This needs to be after the date you exited or completed your training program, even if that's not the exact date you started working there. We recommend informing your employer ahead of time that your start date may not align with your actual position start date due to the service obligation requirements. Then you'll add your job title along with your job duties or a description of your role. You can also upload a file describing your job duties, but you must enter at least 500 words in the text box to submit the record. You'll also note whether the position is paid or voluntary, and whether it resulted from an internship as part of your RSA grant-supported training. Remember, volunteer work does not count towards your payback requirement, so this position needs to be paid to be eligible. If this is your first time submitting this employment record, your project director will get an email to review it and confirm it meets eligibility requirements. If they approve it, PIMS automatically sends your selected employer contact, so either your HR manager or your supervisor, a link to verify your employment. Your employer contacts will have 30 days to complete it before the link expires. If your project director rejects your employment, you'll receive an email notification and you'll be able to access the notification on the PIMS Scholar record. Click on the notification and you'll be able to review what the project director noted was their rejection reason. You can then revise your employment record and resubmit it for project director approval. After your project director approves your employment and it's sent to your employer contacts, they can either verify or dispute your employment record. If your employer disputes any part of your employment record, don't worry, you'll be able to fix it. Go back to section F and look for the record highlighted in red with a disputed status. Click the yellow button under the Actions menu and select Edit. There are additional instructions to address a disputed employment record at the top of the page. You'll see the specific questions that were disputed highlighted in red, along with your employer's response and explanation. Update your answers as needed, and then click Resend for employer verification. You'll receive a notification when your employer verifies your employment record. You will then see the service obligation credit reflected on your scholar record as well. Here's something really important. PIMS only credits employment that's been verified, and credit does not keep accruing past your employer's last verification date. So even though this scholar received credit for their service obligation up until today, the PIMS will not continue to award the scholar service obligation credit tomorrow. So, to keep your service obligation credit current, you'll need to log back in and resubmit your employment record for re-verification. We recommend doing this every 6 months until your obligation is fully met, even if you're still in the same position. To resubmit your employment record, simply click on the specific record and review the information. If you do not have any changes, you may click Send for Employer Re-verification at the bottom. If you do need to make any changes, like updating your supervisor's contact information, you can update that within the same record. If you change any substantive fields, like your job title or duties, it will need to go back to your project director for re-review. Otherwise, the employment record will be sent directly to your employer to verify again.